God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay, for Jesus Christ our Savior.
Old Scrooge sat busy in his counting house, a grim, cheerless place if ever there was one. The door of Scrooge's counting house was open that he might keep his eye upon his clerk, Bob Cratchit, who in a cold, dismal little cell beyond worked at his ledgers.
19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 26, 29, 9, carry 2. 17, 13, 17, 7.
Cratchit!
Yes, Mr. Scrooge.
Stop that infernal caterwauling, will you please?
Yes, sir. 9, 15, 17.
Singing their idiotic Christmas carols at my very door? Come on, get away from my door. Go somewhere else. And bellow your blasted carols elsewhere.
But why, mister? It's an old custom at Christmas time, you know.
Yes, I don't want any of your old customs. Take your fellow fools and go away. Christmas pa.
Right, sir. Merry Christmas anyway, sir.
Oh, jeez. Now, you get that letter from Higgins and Blackthorn, Cratchit, and then I want you to finish posting this ledger, and after that, you can pop over to Partygill's and tell Ephraim Partygill you've come after the 17 shillings and 6 he's owed me since Michaelmas, and tell him I shall have a constable over there if he doesn't pay up at once.
Mr. Partygill's wife has been ill, sir.
Oh, really? Really? Yeah. What do I care about his wife? I want my 17 and 6.
I just thought it being Christmas, sir.
Christmas? You mention that word to me once more, Bob Cratchit, and I swear I will.
A Merry Christmas, Uncle. A Merry Christmas, Bob.
Oh, God save you. Merry Christmas, Mr. Fred.
God save you, Uncle.
Bob, humbug!
Christmas a humbug, Uncle. Now, I'm sure you don't mean that.
I mean just that. Exactly that. Merry Christmas. What right have you to be merry? What reason have you? You're poor enough.
Well, what right have you to be dismal about Christmas, Uncle? You're rich enough. Now, Uncle, don't be cross.
Well, don't be telling me what I should be. What else can I be when I live in such a world of fools? What's Christmas to you but a time for paying bills without money? Merry Christmas. A time for finding yourself a year older and not an hour richer. If I could work my will, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips would be boiled with his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart. He should.
Uncle!
Now, nephew, keep Christmas in your own way, and let me keep it in mine.
Well, keep it. But you don't keep it, Uncle.
Let me leave it alone, then. What do you want? A Christmas gift, I've no doubt.
I came to wish you a Merry Christmas, Uncle.
A Merry Christmas. Oh, much good may Christmas do you. Ha ha! Much good it has ever done you.
There are many things from which I derive good, by which I have not profited materially, I dare say, Uncle. Christmas among the rest, but I've always thought of Christmas time as a good time, a kind, forgiving, charitable, pleasant time, and therefore, Uncle, though it has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, I believe it has done me good, and will do me good, and I say God bless it.
God bless Christmas. Hurrah!
Let me hear another sound out of you there, Bob Cratchit, and you'll keep your Christmas by losing your situation. As to you, nephew, I wonder you don't go into Parliament. You talk enough nonsense to do so.
Don't be angry, Uncle. I want nothing from you. I ask nothing of you. Why can't we be friends?
Good afternoon.
I'm sorry you feel that way. Well, I tried. A Merry Christmas to you, Uncle.
Good afternoon.
And a Happy New Year, too.
Bah, humbug!
And a Merry Christmas to you, Bob, and the missus, and to Tiny Tim.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Fred. Same to you, sir. Good day, sir.
Good day, Bob.
Nonsense. Twaddle. Flummery. Talking of Christmas and not 2 sixpences to jingle together in his trouser pocket. What are you doing there, Bob Cratchit? Come here. What did you just do there?
I'm only putting a bit more coal in the fire, Mr. Scrooge, seeing it's so cold in there, sir.
You put that coal back into the scuttle. A fire indeed. I can tell you, if you use coal at that rate, you and I will soon be parting company, Bob Cratchit. You understand that? There's many a young fella like your situation, you know.
I'm sorry, sir. My fingers were just getting a little stiff in the cold.
Then put on your mittens. There's someone at the door. Go on, see who it is.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
This is the firm of Scrooge and Marley?
Yes, sir.
Well, I should like to see the head of the firm then, if I may.
Oh, very good, sir.
What is it?
It's a gentleman to see you, Mr. Scrooge.
Huh?
Have I the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Well, Marley's been dead these 7 years. In fact, these 7 years tonight, I'm Scrooge.
Well, now, Mr. Scrooge, at this season of the year, I don't have to tell you that it's only fitting that we who are more fortunate should raise a fund to buy the poor some meat and drink and maybe means of warmth. You may not believe it, sir, but many thousands are now in want of the most common necessities.
Oh.
And hundreds of thousands are in want, sir, of the simplest comforts.
Are there no prisons?
Well, there are plenty of prisons, sir.
Are there no workhouses? What about the workhouses? They're still in operation, I trust?
I wish I could say they are not, sir, but yet they are.
The treadmill and the poor law are in full vigor, then?
Both very busy, sir.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. Ha! I was afraid from what you said at first that something had occurred to stop them in their useful course.
No, sir. All these institutions that you mention are flourishing, sad to say. But it's nevertheless very true that some additional for the provision for the poor and the destitute must be made. A few of us upon change are just endeavoring to raise such a fund, sir, you see. And what shall I put you down for?
Nothing.
Oh, I see, sir. You want to remain anonymous, perhaps, then?
No, I wish to be left alone. I don't make merry myself at Christmas time, and I can't afford to help make a lot of idle people merry. I help to support the establishments that take care of the poor. They cost enough. Let those who are badly off go there.
Many can't go there, sir, and many would rather die.
Well, then my advice to them is to do so and decrease the surplus population. Besides, I've only your word for it that all this is so.
It is the truth, Mr. Scrooge.
Well, so be it then. It's not my business. It's enough for a man to understand his own business and not to interfere with other people's. Mine occupies me constantly. Good afternoon, sir.
I quite understand, Mr. Scrooge. Good afternoon.
Cratchit, show this gentleman out.
Yes, sir. This way, sir, please. Sir, I couldn't help overhearing. I should like to contribute tuppence.
My goodness. Thank you so much. Listen, you're a generous fellow. I wish I might say so of your employer.
Yes,
Cratchit,
sir.
Cratchit,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
come over here, please.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Yes, Mr. Scrooge.
Close the door, please.
Yes, sir. Okay, 24, 31, 1, carry the 3. New scarlet tippet for Tiny Tim. A comb for Martha, 33. 3, carry the 3. A hair ribbon for Belinda, 4, 7, 12, 15.
Cratchit,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
it's too late to have you go to Party Gills. He'll be closed up for Christmas like these other fools. We may as well close the place up ourselves now.
Yes, sir. It is getting a little dark. Hard to see the figures.
I suppose you'll want the entire day tomorrow?
If it's quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient, and it's not fair either. But I suppose I can't do anything about it. If I was to stop half a crown of your wages, you'd think yourself very ill-used, I'll be bound.
Well, sir,
You don't think me ill-used when I pay a day's wages for no work?
It's only once a year, sir.
Once a year. Once a year, indeed, a fine excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. But I suppose there's no good talking. You must have the whole day? Well, we'll see that you're here all the earlier the next morning. You understand?
Oh, I will, sir.
And be sure to stop off at Ephraim Partygills and collect that 17 shillings and 6 pence before you return home. You can bring it with you the morning you return to work.
I will indeed. Good night, sir, and Merry Christmas.
Ah, bah!
Merry Christmas.
Bah!
The office was closed in a twinkling, and Bob Cratchit, with his long ends of his white comforter dangling to his race, he had no petticoat, went down a slide on Cornhill 20 times in honor of its being Christmas Eve. And then, as Scrooge had instructed him, he headed over to the home of Ephraim Bartigill.
Just a moment, please. Oh, why, Mr. Cratchit? What a pleasure to see you on this Christmas Eve. Please come in, won't you?
Good evening, Ephraim. I'm afraid this isn't a social call, if that's what you've been led to believe.
Oh, I understand completely, Mr. Cratchit. I may be dull, but I'm not outright daft. I know a bill collector when I see one.
Forgive me, Ephraim. If it were up to me, I would...
Say no more, Mr. Cratchit. I know the unyielding ways of your stern taskmaster, Mr. Scrooge. It's just that my wife has been fallen ill for the last few months and has required considerable care, which has left my coffers hollow, I'm afraid.
What you say of my master is true, Ephraim. And yes, as you say, his ways are unyielding, but mine are not as much. Tell me, old friend, have you a sixpence on your person?
Why, yes, but the money that I owe your firm is substantially larger than that.
Worry not about it. The sixpence is substantial for now. Mr. Scrooge has given me a day off with wages, and I'll make up the rest. Give my warmest regards to your ailing wife.
Bob, I couldn't.
Don't mention it. It's Christmas, after all. God bless you and yours, Ephraim.
Cratchit bid his old friend farewell and hurried on home. Scrooge, on the other hand, took his melancholy dinner at his usual melancholy tavern.
Here you are then, Mr. Scrooge. Same old mincemeat and potato pie and an ale for you like always.
You fathom an alternative form of sustenance for me this evening?
What you eat is your business, though our menu is a bit more extensive than all that.
Well, that's right. It's my business.
But all I'm saying is maybe try the duck sometime, or our boiled chicken, being at Christmas Eve and all.
You think my stomach shall know the difference what day it is?
I suppose not.
Well, then keep your tap open and your mouth shut. Why, if I had half my wits about me, I should seek to eat someplace else, someplace where the meals aren't served with unsolicited advice.
Right then. My apologies. Merry Christmas to you then, sir.
Bah, humbug.
Oh, I'm afraid we stopped serving that, sir. Seemed it caused a bit of a bout of indigestion.
Scrooge left the tavern keep, as he usually did, with the exact cost of his meal and not 1 penny more. Darkness is cheap, and Scrooge liked it. The yard was so dark that even Scrooge, who knew its every stone, had to grope with his hands through the fog and frost to find the door. Scrooge walked through his rooms to see that all was right. Sitting room, bedroom, lumber room, all as they should be. Nobody under the table, no. Nobody under the sofa, nobody under the bed, nobody in the closet. He double-locked himself in and took off his cravat, put on his dressing gown and slippers and his nightcap, and it was off to bed.
What was that? Someone's in the wine cellar? But the door's locked and double locked. Something is coming? Something is coming closer outside my door? Bah! I won't believe it. It's humbug still.
Ebenezer Scrooge! Ebenezer Scrooge!
Marley? Oh, no. What do you want with me?
I want much of you, Ebenezer.
Okay, who? Who are you?
Ask me who I was.
Oh, you're very particular for a ghost. All right, then. Who were you?
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
Jacob Marley? You're dead. You died 7 years ago.
7 years ago this very night.
Boulder Dash.
What's wrong, Ebenezer? Don't you believe in me?
No, I do not.
You doubt your senses, Ebenezer?
Yes, because a little thing affects me. A slight disorder of the stomach makes me, well, it makes it cheat. You know, you can't be a ghost. You may be an undigested piece of beef or a blot of mustard. There may be more gravy than grave about you, whatever you are. Bah humbug, I tell you, humbug.
Ah!
Okay, all right. I do believe in you. You are a ghost, Jacob.
Thank you.
But why? Why do you walk the earth? Why do you come to me, Jacob?
It is required of every man that the spirit within him should walk abroad among his fellow man and travel far and wide to witness that it cannot share, but might have shared on earth and turn to happiness.
But tell me, Jacob, what is that chain you wear around you?
I wear the chain I forged in life. I made it link by link and yard by yard by my own free will. Is its pattern strange to you, Ebenezer?
Cash boxes, keys and padlocks, ledgers and purses?
Yours was as heavy and as long as this 7 years ago. You have labored on it since, Ebenezer.
Oh, Jacob, speak comfort to me, Jacob.
Comfort I have none to give. I cannot rest. I cannot stay. I cannot linger. Weary journeys lie before me.
You traveled fast.
Yes, Ebenezer, on the wings of the wind.
7 years dead and traveling all the time?
7 years, Ebenezer. 7 years of remorse. Ebenezer, do you know that no space of regret can make amends for one life's opportunities misused?
But you were always a good man of business, Jacob.
Business! Mankind was my business. Charity, mercy, benevolence, they were all my business. The dealings of my trade were but a drop of water in the comprehensive ocean of my business.
Jacob!
Listen to me, Ebenezer.
I'll listen to you, Jacob. I'll listen to you. Go on, Jacob. Speak to me, but don't be so flowery.
Ebenezer, I am here to warn you that you have yet a chance of hope of escaping my fate. Do you hear that, Ebenezer?
Well, yes, Jacob, yes. You always were a good friend to me, Jacob. Thank you. But go on. How shall I escape? I'm afraid, Jacob.
You will be haunted by 3 spirits.
Is that the only chance and hope, Jacob?
It is your only chance and hope.
Well, then I think I'd rather not.
Without their visits, you cannot hope to shun the path I tread. Expect the first tomorrow when the bell tolls 1.
Couldn't I take them all at once? Have it over with, Jacob?
Ebenezer, look that for your own sake. You remember what has passed between us. Remember, when the bell tolls 1, look for the first spirit.
Marley! Jacob Marley!
Scrooge awoke. He was lying on his bed, fully dressed. Suddenly, the curtains of his bed were drawn aside, and Scrooge found himself face to face with the unearthly visitor that had drawn them.
Ebenezer Scrooge.
Who's that?
Ebenezer Scrooge, I have come for you.
You are the spirit, sir, whose coming was foretold me?
I am that spirit.
Who? What are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past?
No, your past.
But what do you want of me? What brings you here to haunt me?
Your welfare, Ebenezer Scrooge. Rise and walk with me.
Oh, no. Not out the window. Why, I can't do that. I'll fall down. I'm not a spirit. I'm mortal, and I'll fall.
Bear but a touch of my hand upon your heart, and you shall be upheld in more than this. Come, follow me.
Merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay, for Jesus Christ our Savior was
Where are we?
on Christmas Day.
What's become of the city? And there's snow upon the ground. Where are we?
These are the shadows of the things that have been. You recognize this countryside?
Oh, I know every inch of it. Every rock, every tree.
And that bleak building over there?
Oh, that building. I was a boy there. Yes, I went to school in that horrible place.
Do you recollect that path?
Yes, I could walk it blindfolded.
Strange you should have forgotten it for so many years. Come, let us go closer. Look through the window into that cold, barren room. What do you see, Ebenezer Scrooge?
I see a boy.
A solitary child, neglected by his family, alone.
Yes. Yes, I see. I know that boy. I was so lonely, poor boy.
Your lip is trembling, Scrooge. And what is that on your cheek?
It's nothing. Nothing at all. I wish, oh, it's too late now.
What's the matter?
Nothing. Oh, the waifs, they came to my door singing Christmas carols last night, and there was a boy like that among them. A poor, pale, thin little boy in a ragged coat. I should like to have given him something, that's all.
Is that all? Come, Ebenezer Scrooge. Let us see another Christmas. Do you know this place, Ebenezer Scrooge?
Oh, I know it. Know it. This is the counting house where I apprenticed. Whew. It's my old master, bless his heart. Old Fezziwig, my master, alive again, and hosting one of his Christmas parties.
Pick your partners.
Listen to him.
Corkscrew. Thread the needle and back to your places. The counting is over and funds abound for the evening.
And there's Dick Wilkins, poor Dick, dear, yes. And look, there's Mrs. Fezziwig herself, looking younger than any of them. And the tables, all loaded with roasts and cider and mince pie and beer. Oh, what a jolly time we used to have.
That carefree young man with the light heart and the gay smile, do you recognize him?
Yes. Yes, oh yes, merciful heaven. How happy I was then.
You've all worked hard, lads, and it's time to mingle in merry cheer. I hope you've come hungry.
A small matter for old Fezziwig to make those silly folks full of joy.
Small matter, small indeed.
Isn't it? He has spent only a few pounds of your mortal money. Is that so much that he deserves praise?
It's not that. It's not that, Spirit. Old Fezziwig has the power to make us happy or unhappy, to make our service light or heavy. His power lies in words and looks and in things so tiny that it's impossible to count him up. The happiness he gives is quite as great as if it cost him.
What is the matter?
Nothing at all, Spirit.
Something, I think.
No.
Speak.
Well, only it's just that I should like to be able to say a word or two to my clerk, Bob Cratchit, that's all.
My time grows short, and we have yet another journey to make.
Where now?
Come. This is our last visit to the past, Ebenezer. Here, in this little room with a fair young girl by your side, do you recognize yourself, Ebenezer?
Oh, no, spare me this.
You're older now, a man in the prime of his life. Your face has begun to wear the signs of care and avarice. Your eyes are greedy, the eager, restless eyes of a miser.
No, please.
She knows it too, that girl by your side. There are tears in her eyes.
It matters little to you. Very little. I know that.
Belle, have I changed towards you?
When we were engaged, we were both poor.
Was it better then? Better to be poor?
Better at least to be happy. You're changed. You were a man then.
I was a boy. You blame me because I've grown wiser? Have I ever tried to break our engagement?
In words, no, never. In a changed nature, an altered spirit, in everything that made my love of any value in your sight. Yours is an allegiance to your coin. And so I release you from your promise.
What has changed other than this fortune I've amassed and that I might be able to provide for us both? I've become a master of business and influence. Mine's a life of increased value and coin. Belle!
At first, it may cause you pain to lose me, a very small pain, but soon it will be dim, like a half-remembered dream, an unprofitable dream. And you will be glad to be awake in such a dream. May you be happy in the life you have chosen, Ebenezer, for the love of whom you once loved.
That's enough. That's enough. Show me no more. Take me home.
These were the shadows of the things that have been, that they are what they are. Do not blame me.
No. No more. No more.
One more shadow. Come. Do you see this man, Ebenezer Scrooge? This man might have been you, and the woman beside him, your wife, and that girl. That girl might have been your daughter, Ebenezer Scrooge. She might have called you father. She might have been a springtime in the haggard winter of your life.
Spirit, let me go. Show me no more.
Listen now, while they speak, Ebenezer.
Tidings of the same, how that in Bethlehem was born the Son of God by name.
You saw a friend of mine? Who was it?
Comfort and joy, oh, tidings of
How can I guess? Oh, I know. It was Mr. Scrooge.
These tidings rejoiced much in mind, and left their flocks of thieves.
Mr. Scrooge it was. I passed his office window. It wasn't shuttered, and there was a candle inside, so I couldn't help seeing him. His partner Marley lies at the point of death, I hear, and there Scrooge sat, all alone, quite alone in the world, I do believe.
Spirit! Spirit, I can't bear any more. Leave me, haunt me no more. Take me back, take me back.
On the stroke of one, Scrooge awakened suddenly and sat bolt upright in his own bed. He remembered the words of Marley's ghost and wondered from which direction the second specter would appear. At that moment, nothing between a baby and a rhinoceros would have astonished him very much. Now, being prepared for almost anything, he was not by any means prepared for nothing, and consequently, when no shape appeared, he was taken with a violent fit of trembling. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, a quarter of an hour went by, yet nothing came. Then, as he sat in his bed, he became aware gradually of a bright blaze of ruddy light that seemed to shine upon him from the adjoining room. He got up softly and shuffled in his slippers to the door. It was his own sitting room, no doubt about that, but it had undergone a surprising transformation. The walls and ceiling were so hung with living green that it looked a perfect grove, from every part of which bright gleaming berries glistened. And such a mighty blaze went roaring up the chimney as never had been known in Scrooge's time, or for many and many a winter season gone. Heaped up on the floor to form a kind of throne were turkeys and geese and game, poultry, great joints of meat, long wreaths of sausages, mince pies, plum puddings, barrels of oysters, red-hot chestnuts, and seething bowls of punch that made the chamber dim with their delicious steam. In very easy state upon this couch there sat a jolly giant, glorious to see, who bore a glowing torch in the shape not unlike Plenty's horn, and he held it up, high up, to shed its light on Scrooge as he came peeping round the door.
Come in, Ebenezer Scrooge, and know me better, man.
Who
I am the ghost of Christmas present. Look upon me. You've never seen the likes of me before.
You're different from the other spirit. You're tall, almost a giant, and that great torch you carry.
Its light pours into the homes of rich and poor alike.
Where have you brought me, spirit?
A humble dwelling on a humble street, Ebenezer.
It is humble enough.
Yet there is happiness there.
Who are these people? Who's that woman? The children?
These are the family of your clerk, Bob Cratchit. His wife, dressed in a twice-turned gown, but brave in ribbons, laying the table for their Christmas dinner. And there assisting her is her daughter, Belinda. And the young man with the fork and the stuffing, that's Master Peter Cratchit. And the two little Cratchits. Listen, Scrooge.
Why, bless your heart alive, Martha, my dear. Merry Christmas to you.
Oh, Merry Christmas, Mother.
How late are you, my dear?
Well, we had a deal of work to finish up last night, and we had to clear it away this morning.
Well, never mind how long. As you're here now, sit down ye before the fire and have a warm, bless ye, Lord.
Oh, here's Father. Christmas, Mother.
Well, never mind as long as you're here now. He's been in church with Tiny Tim. They'll be here along directly.
Mother, how is Tiny Tim? All better at all?
Sometimes I think he is, and sometimes I think, oh dear God, if anything should happen to Tiny Tim.
Now, Mother, you mustn't think of such a thing.
There's Tiny Tim.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Martha, welcome, my dear.
Merry Christmas, Father, and Tim.
Merry Christmas, Martha.
Oh, Tim, you darling. Oh, Father, I'm so glad to be home.
And we're so glad to have you, Martha.
And how did little Tim behave in church, Bob?
Oh, good as gold and better.
I like church, Mother. Oh, and they sang the nicest songs. I hope people saw me there.
Saw you there? And why, Tim?
Well, don't you see? Because I'm lame. And if they saw my crutch, it might be good for them to remember on Christmas who it was who made lame beggars walk and blind men see.
Oh, bless you, my son.
Yes, children, we're all ready. Come take your places now. And Bob, wait your turn. There's plenty. Stuffing and dressing and plum pudding for all of you. Martha, take care of Tiny Tim.
Yes, Mother.
You see that he eats plenty. He must get tall and well. Now sit down, everyone.
Ah, now, my dears, shall we say grace?
Spirit, tell me if Tiny Tim will live. Ghost of Christmas present, tell me, please.
I see a vacant seat in the poor chimney corner and a crutch without an owner. It's carefully preserved, though.
Oh, no, kind spirit. Say he'll be spared. Say he'll live.
If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, Ebenezer, the child will die.
Dear Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen. And now, my dears, with such a dinner, a toast, a Merry Christmas to us all, and God bless us.
Amen.
God bless us, everyone.
I give you a toast, Mr. Scrooge, the founder of the feast.
The founder of the feast, indeed, who pays you all of 14 shillings a week, and I wish I had him here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast on, and I hope he'd have a good appetite for it.
Oh, my dear, the children, it's Christmas Day.
Well, it should be Christmas Day, I'm sure, on which one drinks the health of such odious, stingy, and unfeeling man as Mr. Scrooge. You know he is, Bob. Nobody knows it better than you, poor fellow.
My dear, Christmas Day.
I'll drink his health for your sake, and the day is not for his. Long life to him, a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. He'll be very merry, very happy, I have no doubt.
And I say, God bless him too, Mother, and everyone.
There was nothing of high mark in all this. They were not a handsome family, these Cratchits. They were not well dressed. Their shoes were far from being waterproof. Their clothes were scanty and had known very likely the inside of a pawnbroker's. But they were happy, grateful, pleased with one another, and contented with the time. When at last they faded, Scrooge had his eye upon them, and especially on Tiny Tim until the last. Many calls Scrooge made that night with the ghost of Christmas present. Down among the miners they went who labor in the bowels of the earth, and out to sea among the sailors at their watch, dark, ghostly figures in their several stations. Much they saw and far they went, and many places they visited, but always with a happy end. The spirits stood beside sick beds, and they were cheerful. On foreign lands, and they were close at home. By poverty, and it was rich. In almshouses, hospitals, and jails, where vain man in his little brief authority had not made fast the door and barred the spirit out, the spirit left his blessing. It was a long night, if it was only a night. And it was strange, too, that while Scrooge remained unaltered in his outward form, the ghost grew older, clearly older.
My life upon this globe is very brief, Ebenezer. In fact, it ends tonight.
Tonight?
Tonight at midnight. Hark, the hour has come.
Oh, no, not yet, not yet. There's still more things I wish to learn.
Oh, yes, and these you will learn from still another spirit, Ebenezer.
Scrooge looked about him for the ghost, but it had vanished, and he found himself once more in his own bed, in his dressing gown, his nightcap on his head. He heard the clock strike. Then he remembered the prediction of old Jacob Marley, and lifting up his eyes, beheld the third spirit. It was a solemn phantom, shrouded in black, draped and hooded, coming toward him slowly and silently, like a mist along the ground.
I know you. You are the ghost of Christmas yet to come. You'll show me the shadows of things that have not happened, but will happen in the time before us. Answer me, spirit, ghost of the future. I fear you more than any specter I've seen, yet I know your purpose is to do me good. And as I hope to live to be another man from what I was, lead on, the night's waning fast and time's precious. Spirit, why have you brought me here again, here to Bob Cratchit's home? But it's not the same. What's the? Why is it so quiet? So very quiet here now.
Mother, please.
Oh, my son, my little son, Tiny Tim. I loved him so much.
Oh, Mother dear, you mustn't. It's almost time for Father to be home. Don't let him see you crying.
Yes, Martha.
He's late tonight.
He walks slower than he used to, and yet I know him to walk very fast indeed with Tiny Tim on his shoulder.
So have I, Mother.
But he was light to carry, and his father loved him so that it was no trouble. Bob!
I'm sorry I'm late, my dear. I went to the churchyard today. I wish you could have gone with me. Would have done your heart good to see how sweet and green a place it is. But you'll see it often, I promise him. I promised Tiny Tim that we'd walk there on a Sunday.
Oh, Father dear.
I'm trying to understand it, my dear. My son. My little son. My little Tiny Tim. I loved him so.
Oh, that's cruel. Cruel spirit. Can't you give me one ray of hope that I may change all that Tiny Tim may live? Oh, where are you taking me now? Here, on a common street. Spirit, what is there for me to learn here? Who are among these men?
I don't know much about it. Either way, I only know he's dead.
When did he die?
Last night, I believe.
It's likely to be a very cheap. I think it's going to be a very cheap funeral, if you ask me. For upon my life, I don't know anybody who would go to it. Suppose we make up a party and volunteer.
I don't mind going if lunch is provided.
Hey, come to think of it, I'll bet it's his best friend.
What?
Well, we used to nod to each other when we met in the street.
I bet that old fossil held on to every shilling he ever earned.
I pity the fool who'd take you up on that bet.
Spirit, help me. Help me, Spirit. Who is this man that died? Is there no one to mourn the poor creature? No one to follow him to the grave? Spirit! Spirit, where are we now? Merciful heaven! A churchyard. Overrun by grass and weeds, choked with too much burying, desolate, lonely, crumbling gravestones. Spirit! Before I draw nearer to that gravestone, answer me one question. Are these shadows of things that will be, or are they shadows of things that may be only, huh? Will you not speak to me, Spirit? What is that grave to which you point? I see it. I now see it. There's writing on that stone. The name on the gravestone is Ebenezer Scrooge. Ebenezer Scrooge? Oh, no, Spirit. No. Hear me. I'm not the man I was. Why show me this? If I'm past all hope, tell me that I can change these dreadful shadows you've shown me by an altered life. I'll honor Christmas in my heart. I'll try to keep it all the year. I'll live in the past, the present, and the future, and I'll not shout out the lessons that they teach me. Tell me, Spirit. Oh, go on. Tell me that I can sponge away the writing on that stone, Spirit. I beg you, Spirit. I beg you.
God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. For Jesus Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day to save us all from Satan's power when we were gone astray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy.
Spirit, I promise on my knees, I promise that why, what's this now? It's my own drape. I'm home. I'm home in my own bed, in my own room.
How that in Bethlehem was born the Son of God by
And the sun! The sun is shining. It's clear, it's bright, no fog. What a beautiful day. Oh, glorious. Oh, glorious. Hey, boy out there, boy.
Yes, sir?
What is today?
What's that, sir?
Yes, today. What is today, my fine fellow?
Today? Why, it's Christmas Day.
It's Christmas Day! Then I haven't missed it. The spirits have done it all in one night, Heaven be praised.
How's that, sir?
Listen, my lad, you know where the poulterer is, in the next street.
I should say I do.
Good, an intelligent boy, a remarkable boy. Tell me, do you know if they sold the prize turkey that was hanging in the window?
The one that's as big as me?
Yes. What a delightful boy. It's a pleasure to talk to you. Yes, my buck.
It's hanging there now, sir.
Yes, that's wonderful. Go down, will you? And tell him to send it to Bob Cratchit and his family on Broad Street. And mind you, they're not to know who paid for it. Go along. Hurry, hurry, my lad. Wait a minute. Here's half a crown for your trouble.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And a Merry Christmas to you, sir.
And a Merry Christmas to you, my boy. Oh, I don't know what to do. I'm as light as a feather, as happy as an angel. I'm as merry as a schoolboy. Oh, Merry Christmas! A Merry Christmas to everybody. A Happy New Year to all the world. Whoa! Ooh, hello! Oh. My dear girl. My dear sir. How do you do?
I beg your pardon?
Well, you, sir. Aren't you the gentleman who came to my office in regard to that charity?
Why, yes, sir, I am.
Well, a Merry Christmas to you.
Yes, sir.
Allow me to ask your pardon, sir, and will you have the goodness to accept? I prefer to whisper this.
Yes. What? But Lord bless me, my dear Mr. Scrooge, are you serious?
If you please, now, not a farthing less. A great many back payments are included in it, I assure you. Will you do me that favor?
Oh, say no more, sir. I don't know what to say to such munificent...
Now, don't say anything, please. Come and see me, will you? Will you come and see me?
I will. I will indeed, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. I am much obliged to you. I thank you 50 times. Bless you. Merry Christmas.
Next morning, Scrooge was early at his office. He went early for a reason. If only he could be there first and catch Bob Cratchit coming late. That was the thing he'd set his heart upon. And he did it. Yes, he did. The clock struck 9. No Bob. A quarter past, still no Bob Cratchit. Scrooge sat with his door wide open that he might see him come in. At last he came. His hat was off before he opened the door. His comforter, too. He was on his stool in a jiffy, driving away with his pen as if trying to overtake 9 o'clock.
Okay, 15 and 21, 6, carry the 1, 24, carry the 2, 31 and 8 and 9.
Hello, you Cratchit.
Yes, sir.
Step this way, Cratchit, if you please. Cratchit, what do you mean by coming in at this time of day?
Sir, I'm very sorry. I'm behind in my time.
Yes, you are. Yes, I think you are.
Oh, it's only once a year, Mr. Scrooge. It shall not be repeated. I was making rather merry yesterday, sir.
I'll tell you what, my friend. I'll not stand for this sort of thing any longer, and therefore, Bob Cratchit, I'm about to raise your salary.
Mr. Scrooge, are you quite yourself, sir?
No, thank heaven. I'm not quite myself. Merry Christmas, Bob. Merry Christmas, my good fellow. A merrier Christmas than I've given you in many a year. I shall raise your salary, and we'll see what we can do for Tiny Tim and the rest of your family, huh?
Oh, my gosh.
Well, we'll discuss it this very afternoon over a Christmas bowl of smoking bishop. Bob, make up the fire. Make it up, and buy another coal scuttle before you dot another I, Bob Cratchit.
Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all and infinitely more. To Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was a second father. He was as good a friend, as good a master, as good a man as the good old city knew, or any other good old city, town, or borough in the good old world. Some people laughed to see the alteration in Scrooge, but he let them laugh, and little heeded them. His own heart laughed, and that was quite enough for him. He had no further discourse with spirits, but lived upon the total abstinence principle ever afterwards. And it was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas well, if any man alive possessed that knowledge. May that truly be said of us, of all of us. And so, as Tiny Tim observed, God bless us, everyone.